I'm worried. I'm waiting for you to start asking us lower deck questions because of your background. I'm like,
I
no,
hope
you got
it's
the
okay
wrong
that I have a
brother.
lower decks background. I kind of, I thought it would be kind of better with my my outfit and everything like that. But anyways, I figured I'd wear a red shirt. Anyways, but that being said, Prodigy is such a special show. The animation for this is unlike anything that we've seen in Star Trek in the past. Certainly Lower Decks, which takes, of course, that 2D animation approach. You guys are taking more of a CG approach, but it's gorgeous. And I wanted to talk about how that look and feel came to be. And with Lower Decks having come out before you guys as the previous animated series that dropped, how did you guys decide to go for a starkly different tone and shift from what they did there versus what you guys are doing?
I mean, it was a really happy, not marriage, but when we were developing this, we were with Mike, and Mike was showing us early stills of what he was doing. But even before we even met Mike, we come from the world of, like Troll Hunters and Ninjago and stuff. And so we love that. Really, that's our experience, that high-end CG, cinematic experience that we can give you in 22 minutes. And so when we were seeing what Mike was doing, I'm like, they're just totally two different animals, right? And so I was excited about that. So because that could have been worrisome if we were too similar.
Well, I also think a lot of our touchstones going into the project is we love Wrath of Khan and we love the movies and the big cinematic scope of space. And so we always had that in vision, and then we found Ben Ebon, who just like took it to a different stratosphere.
He's our director.
And so what he brought to the table was just one of the finest eyes that we've ever met in the business. So and he knows exactly what to do, how to light it, how to create that massive scope. So honestly, Prodigy would not be what it is without Ben.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful to hear. One of the things that got people really excited, I think, about Prodigy in general was the return of Janeway. Everybody loves Captain Janeway. What was it like to work with the legend herself, Kate Mulgrew, and just to carry on the legacy of the Voyager series through Prodigy?
I think it started on a high note. I mean, when we first met her, we met her in a bar and she says, "What are we drinking, boys?" And I was like, this is going to be awesome.
I love this woman. Yep, right away from her first line, right? I mean, she's the real deal. I mean, she's just every time, whenever there's a Comic-Con or something that we have to do a publicity thing and we're in the same city with her, we always get dinner. And she's just the most amazing woman in the world. I mean, and we knew from day one, when we had this concept of some kids who are outside of the sort of Star Trek universe learning their way, and we needed some sort of a mentor, we're like, God, Kate, Janeway is just, she's like our Star Trek Mary Poppins. Like, she's going to be amazing.
And I love it that she gives like 110% on everything. Like, she's not just phoning it in. She's coming in, she's loving it. She's enjoying the story. She's enjoying meeting the cast. She really is like the captain aboard of the whole production.
Yeah, when she comes in and some of our other actors, like there's a lot of dramatic moments, like we're recording a lot of times at Nickelodeon where they have wonderful comedies, really crazy other, animation things. But this is like, she'll deliver stuff and you have tears in your eyes.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about the show is that for a kid's show, it's surprisingly a lot more mature than some of the other stuff out there. I mean, certainly it's wonderful that you've got a home like Nickelodeon, which embraces the SpongeBob types and the Loud House types. And then they've also embraced the Airbender types and now Prodigy as well. I talk about kind of doing a more serious series, I guess, for kids, and what the challenges are to kind of convey more mature themes to an audience that might be a little bit younger than the average Star Trek fan.
I mean, I think, Kevin and I are massive fans of Pixar, and what Pixar did, they showed us that you can make a movie with emotional depth that works for the entire universe. And so I think when we look at Star Trek Prodigy, we never think kids show. We think this is a show for everybody. I guess all we can't do is cut somebody's head off, and we're like, that's okay. I'm like, they have phasers. We're not going to really need to show that sort of violence. So when we go into it, we always feel like a good story works for everybody. I think that's what we're trying to do, appeal to. So it's the perfect thing for kids to jump into, because there's a lot of other Star Trek shows out there where there's a couple episodes you have to skip for the little ones, but this one should be good for all ages.
Absolutely. I love that you brought that up, because quite frankly, it's kind of sad that we're living in a time where people sort of belittle animation as being just for kids these days. And when you see a show like Prodigy on TV, or you know, more serious Pixar or Disney films that really have that broader appeal, you know, it really, you know, it ends up becoming a little bit insulting to the people that have worked on these hard stories that are actually universal. So I'm glad that you guys are putting out a show that's a lot that is a lot more serious and shows people that animation's not just for kids, you know, and people thinking that it's for kids, it's a terrible stereotype. I would love to talk about you guys really contributing to this legacy of Star Trek, which has been around since the 60s. It's been insanely, you know, popular. The mythology is huge, the worlds are huge, and you guys are putting your definitive stamp on this with new characters like Zero and Pog and Gwendolyn and everyone like that. You know, talk about what it's like to contribute to that mythology, and whether or not you had to stick to strict rules from the Roddenberry Bible, as it were. Was that a challenge for you?
Well, it's very scary. Like going back to like when we were first developing it, we were hanging out with Mike McMahon a lot. And oh my gosh, that guy is an encyclopedia. And Dan and I are like, uh-oh, like we're huge fans of Star Trek, but we're like, we're not at his level of knowledge. And so it was very, very scary, right? Not just like continuing, you know, Roddenberry's legacy, but it's like, how do we?
Oh, you knew the Trek fans had their arrows, quivers.
Yeah, we knew. Yeah,
shoot us in the face.
But even more importantly, like I don't want to fail the next generation, you know, of kids. Like how do we make sure that our show does resonate with kids and stuff? And so, very, very frightening. I instantly was like watching every series and every episode all over again, trying to, you know, be prepared for it. But I think, you know, Dan and I, it's been so rewarding to see fans, adult fans, love the show. And I've seen a lot of acknowledgement of that. We're very much in the spirit of Roddenberry, right? Like that our show gets it. And I think it's not just us, but it's our crew and the people that we hire that we all love. And we grew up on that vision. And we're like, how do we do that again in an animated way for a new generation? And it's just been so rewarding to see that it appears to be working.
I absolutely think so. And I think, you know, obviously I can understand why fans love this so much. It's got that reverence to the Star Trek mythology that every fan loves. And the sheer fact that you guys are able to not only create your own characters, but utilize characters like Janeway, and through the magic of holograms, you know, you've got Spock and you've got Uhura, you've got Scotty, you know, you've got Beverly Crusher in the show. You know, I mean, this is a big deal. What's it like kind of getting to put your stamp on those classic characters, not just the new ones, but characters that we know and we love?
Well, it's interesting when we first, you know, in the writer's room, it just felt like a wish fulfillment of, oh my gosh, we're actually writing like fan fiction, you know, and we were doing it, and to imagine that it actually comes out on screen, you know, is a joy. It's like, we love these characters. And it was great to be around that table to go, well, which characters are going to be in Kobayashi, you know, and having great debate about who's that going to be. So I think it's been a lot of fun, I think, to pull from all the different series, and to create, and to know that these may be some of the very first Trek episodes that new fans will be watching. So I think that's a big high as well.
And it's fun to like working with Kate and Robert and all these amazing people. You know, they're excited because, you know, in the earlier, you know, other, you know, Star Trek shows, you know, they weren't serialized as much, right? They really weren't, you know, close-ended episodes where they had to restart every, you know, and for us, ours is more like a giant mini series. And so they really love, like, we get to go places, and places that you guys haven't even seen yet that are really dramatic and big that I don't think they could have done, you know, on Next Generation or Voyager, you know.
Absolutely. Well, for what it's worth, not only is Nickelodeon lucky to have you, but the Star Trek universe is lucky to have Prodigy. And you got the indelible stamp that you guys have left on this franchise is going to just resonate with fans, both new and old. So thank you so much for your time. This was wonderful. And yeah, Star Trek Prodigy now on Nickelodeon.
Mike,
Thanks,
thank you
Mike.
so much, dude. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I love it. Thank you.
All right.